Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video and hopefully a new series of Legacy, Steel and Sorcery. So what this game is a PvP VE extraction RPG. So what does that mean, you might be asking yourself? So basically what that means is there's various classes and people and also NPC and mobs that you can fight in the world. So your goal, just like Tarkov, Dark and Darker and anything, is to go into the raid, get your stuff, get your gear, get your loot, and get out alive. But if you die, you lose it all. You can get some gear back from the treasurer in the pawn shop, which we'll get into later. But basically, you die, you lose your stuff. This kind of gameplay is so fun to me. Like the thrill I get from fighting somebody in this game is unlike any other game. Like my heart just pounds when I'm fighting somebody. It is so much fun, and I can't wait to share some of my things that I've learned about this game with you. So before that, I'm going to show you guys what I have learned along the way. After you first launch the game, you're greeted with a screen to create your house name and banner. Be sure to take the time to tweak this, change it however you want with your banner, and your house name will never change. You're able to name each character what you want, but make sure you name your house name something you actually want it to be and not something stupid. Because at that point, you can't change it until the next season at this moment. But we're going to get into each class here. So then after you've done all that, you're able to create a class. So there's currently 5 classes within the game: Warrior, Hunter, Priest, Rogue, and Wizard. We'll look through each of these for a sec. You're greeted with the screen, character name, and you can see all of the abilities that you start with. So Iron Grip, you pull somebody towards you, stun them, and you can hit them with a damage, whatever. Rampage, you get enraged. I'll make videos going in depth into each class later, but for now we'll just do a general overview. So that's the Warrior. Hunter, you get the Seed Bomb, Bear Trap, Sentinel Strike, and you have a bow. Pretty cool class. I main Hunter. I enjoy it a lot. A lot of people are upset about the nerfs to the movement of this class right now, but I think that it just brings it more to the realm of balanced. Each class has different weapons that you can use. We'll go into that later as well. But there's also the Priest. Priest is really cool. Priest is a really good, I'd say, starting character because you have a lot of ways to evade, move, get out of the trouble. You also have shields, which are ridiculous. Rogue. Rogue is a really popular class, but it's not for the people that want to go in and fight. Rogue is a very class where you need to kind of be sneaky. I kind of call it ratting almost. You want to be a little bit of a rat. You want to not take fights head to head. You want to be able to sneak behind, stab them in the back, all these things. It's kind of like the ninja class, whatever you want to call it. Really cool class. I haven't played much of this. Wizard, by far, in my opinion, one of the strongest classes. You have a lot of abilities and combos that you can use to get a lot of damage off onto people, as well as being a ranged character that has a triple evade, which is another thing we'll get into later. But after you decide which class you want to play, for instance, Rogue, then you can name it Rogue Demo. I'll just name it for that. After you have that, now that we've created our class, and we are now level 1, we have no gear, no nothing. Obviously, on the right side here, you see my stash tab. I currently do have some gear. When you start this game off, you will not have the Stonehaven Cache or the Royal War Crate. That comes with an upgraded version of the game, which, if you have the money to spend, I would recommend doing it. It makes it a lot easier. But each class, when you first make it, or if you die, you spawn with junk weapons and junk bandages and potions, which are pretty important. You want to make sure that you always go in with potions and bandages. But after you have your class, you're going to be wondering, what do I need to do? So I always recommend that you go through your Chronicle quest line. At this point, I'm at 16 out of 22, so it's kind of hard to explain. But follow that quest line for a bit. But the first place that you have to go to as a level 1 player is Goldbrook. This is an entirely new PvE safe world. Really good for new players. I would really recommend spending some time here learning your character before you try to queue into Greenwood Day or Greenwood Night. Dawnhammer Crypts. This is where you can find a lot of good loot. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of big enemies, a lot of things to fight. But for now, we're going to hop into Goldbrook here. Goldbrook is a really cool new thing that they've added to the game. It's really friendly to players. You're going to see we have a very social hub here. So as you come in here, you got copper ore, you have all these things. But how does this stuff matter right now? It doesn't really. Your main goal here as a first load-in would be get copper and birch so you can start to do your lodge upgrades, which we'll dive into later. But you can see there's various players, various mobs around here. Each mob drops different gear, but our main goal here is to level up to level 2. So this is just a basic, all I'm doing here is left clicking. Obviously I just got stunned there, but as you're fighting, you can learn more about how to fight. Each mob drops different gear, each gear has different things. But like I said, the main goal here is to hit level 2 and grab copper, field lilies, and birch. But why do you need these things, you might ask? Well, copper and birch are both used to craft class weapons as well as other materials. But this tree over here, various trees, so obviously if you look at this tree, oh, I could probably mine this, right? No, you cannot. You want to look for the ones with colored leaves, as well as this flower here. This is a field lily. You want to make sure to grab all these that you see all the time. Until you have a good backstock, you need these craft potions. But this tree here is birch, so you want to make sure to mine this. And after you mine it, you want to always make sure these two that dropped here to pick up. Now copper ore. We need to find ourselves some copper ore. Alright, so this here is copper ore. Each ore looks a little bit different, but copper you can always tell by its orange hue. All you have to do to mine this is hit E. You don't have to mash E, you don't have to hold E, you don't have to do anything. You just have to hit E. Grab the ground drop, and then if you loot in the container, you got copper ore and rough stone. You spawn in around this area. Truthfully, it's right here you spawn in. This entire area, besides the red zone, is a safe area where you cannot fight players. So you just want to kind of, like I said, hit level 2, which really won't take that long. Goblins also drop gold, so it's a really good source of early income. So in this game, there's 3 attacks. There's the sprint attack, the evade attack, a jump attack actually, so there's 4, my bad, and a charged attack. Charged attacks are used by holding down mouse 1. Evade attacks by default is a control and mouse 1. Evading is really important. Learning how to evade will save your life. So you see he's about to attack, you can just evade through it, take no damage, and get a lot of damage in. A big fault of a lot of new players is evading. But another huge issue with evading, if you can't see, you see this green bar, when that hits nothing, you stam out. So you see this animation that's playing right now? That is an indicator to other players that you have currently stammed out. Until your stamina regens, you cannot evade, but you can still attack. But if you stand out in a fight, it's usually death. Now that we've got our copper ore, we're going to go ahead and head to exfil. On exfils, you can always look on your map. You can see free exfil and a special exfil. Special exfils usually are met by some sort of criteria, so let's see what's going on here. Once you extract, you can see, once you're in the extraction zone, you have 15 seconds till you actually leave the game. And you're back to your safe lodge. So now that we're back, I'm going to go ahead and just dump this stuff into my inventory. So the field lilies that we got, you come over to the alchemist here. Sorry, I haven't really even talked about that. So now we've finished our first raid. We gained those field lilies, the birch, and the copper. So the first thing that you want to do is come to your lodge, hit the research tab, go down to your forge. For you, you're going to see something very different here, and you're just going to click unlock. It costs like 25 gold. It's really worth it. I would do that for that. The sawmill. And then to go off of the research tab, you just click this button up here. Go to your sawmill. We're going to find our birch logs. We go ahead and put these in here, and it's going to start crafting birch heartwood. For your forge, you want to find your copper ore. Go ahead and add it to that. And it's going to start smelting our copper bars. The field lilies we got, we're going to want to come over to the alchemist. If you haven't gotten any simple vials, go ahead and buy a couple from them. And you want to head over here and craft up a couple big health pots. I'd recommend just go ahead and craft 6. And now that you have these 6 big health pots, switch out for your medium health pots. I still like to put these here just to have them in the raid. And then we're going to also go ahead and craft some bandages, which we can't really do just yet. But that is our goal for the next raid. Each of these people in your city have various benefits and various trades that you can gain from them. The tavern maid is used to craft food, which can be used in your lodge. The alchemist is used to buy utility for potions as well as craft potions. The armorer is how you craft different armor for your character. The enchantress is how you can go ahead and add gems, disenchant gear that you don't need, and craft different gems and rings. Tailor is by far one of the most useful out of all of these, in my opinion. You can craft different size backpacks. You can also craft different bandages. You unlock these trades as you level up your tailor or any person in the city. So it's really important early on to try to just mass craft easy easy resources like linen cloth. You can craft so many of these. You can also buy linen scrap from her to turn into linen cloth. Your tavern maid, purely used for food, that is used in your lodge, which gives you different benefits. Your treasurer. Now the treasurer, this is a pretty cool guy. I like this guy a lot. I really like how they've set him up. So if you've died in a raid and you lost anything below what's called blue tier gear, you can purchase your gear back if no one took it for glint. Glint is a currency that is separate from gold that you can find in raid. So for instance, if we go ahead and click here, sell all treasures, if you look at this, you can see at the bottom right on this item that it sells for 45 glint in total. So each one of these is worth 1 glint. So we're going to go ahead and sell. So that's 45 extra glint. You can buy various things. It's really good to buy lost backpacks if you don't have the materials. One of my biggest things that I like to buy from him is these mystery favors. I would really recommend in the early game to buy as much as this as you can. A weaponsmith is used to craft and upgrade different weapons for each class. The upgrade tab, it requires different materials, minor weapon crystals, different wood, all these things. It's basically the same similar progression as to any RPG that you ever played. But as you saw, we bought that favor, we opened it, so we gained this dried carrot leaf, which we can sell to the armorer for bonus rep. So that gives us 200 rep. So as long as you have extra glint in the early game, buy as many of these mystery favors as possible. You see, I talked a lot about the lodge here. So if you go to your lodge tab up the top, you can see various things. I have unlocked a lot of these already, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to speed run kind of through these. Fireplace, you put different woods in here that gain you different outputs from smelting these down. For your fireplace to be active, the main reason is for the bed. The bed, you will gain rested experience. From each raid, you gain extra experience after it's gained. Cooking pot is a really cool mechanic. So you add 2 or 1 ingredient. 1 ingredient is probably the first one you're going to get. And you cook the meal, and it's going to last for 3 raids or 3 adventures. Storage chest, as you upgrade this, you gain more stash tabs. Crafting bench, as you upgrade this, you gain more access to craft class items. Ossuary, another one of these things I'd really recommend upgrading early. You gain extra repetition each time you upgrade this for the next week. The forge is used to smelt various ores into bars used in crafting. The loom is used to take various scrap and convert it into cloth. The tanner is used to make various rawhide scrap or leather scrap into different tier leathers. The sawmill takes logs and turns them into heartwood, which you saw earlier that we can use to craft different gear. The transmutation device, which I do not have unlocked yet, is used to take one item and transmute it into the next. It's a really cool mechanic. The critter habitat, let's see if I have any critters that I can demo this with. Steel shell beetles. You add a critter to this, and after this set period of time, they will produce whatever they say. For instance, water frogs produce frog oil. Glow grubs produce fine thread, which is used in your loom. And frog oil is used in your tanner to make better leather. All these gold leaves produce golden thread, which is just used to sell at different people in your city. Now our quest tab. I would really recommend grinding out the Chronicle quest. I'm currently already at 16 out of 22, where I just have to reach level 20 on any character. But I would really recommend grinding this out because you can gain a lot of cool lodge upgrade items. But a whole new mechanic was added to the game this season is the campaigns. I really like these so far. So if you do not upgrade to the premium version, which is only about $6, all you get is a Mystery Hunter Purple, which is a purple gear, which is 1 tier below the best. Legendary, epic, rare, uncommon, common, junk is how the gear goes. But if we tab in here, you can see there's various quests that you can complete and do. So we're going to go ahead and we'll scroll down here to the rogue one. So for the rogue quest, the first thing we have to do is craft 10 poison darts. And we have to kill bandits and extract with ruffian coins. These stepstones you gain from leveling a character or leveling someone in your city. The dragon tooth currency is the currency I was talking about. So it costs 60 dragon tooth, which is about $6 to gain the cosmetic part of this. There's also Goldbrook and Greenwood quests that you can do, and each class has its own campaign. There's also your quest board. Each of these gain you 250 repetition for each time you turn it in. So we're going to go ahead and turn both these in, and we've gained extra rep. The weekly quest, Morthog is the main boss right now that I'll try to do a video later on fighting him. but he is a serious boss. There's also various mini bosses and a bunch of other things in the game. I would highly recommend always checking your quest board and finding out what you need to do for your campaign. Each campaign can give you various rewards, mostly gear right now. But if you go down to the Goldbrook and the Greenwood quests, the first reward you get is one of those favors that you could sell to city people. This is for the Tavern Maid, so you gain extra Tavern Maid repetition. This is a Goblin Adept voucher, which you can trade to the Goblin in the city to gain different things. Another repetition, and another voucher. So these are really cool things that you can speed up your progression in the game very quickly with. That is kind of the base overview of this game. I really have fallen in love with this game, and I know I'm not probably the best at making YouTube videos on it yet, so I really hope you guys enjoy what I'm trying to produce. I'm going to pump out a couple different videos into each of this. One of the things I didn't really talk too much on is the varieties of gear. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to head over to the armor here. We're going to craft up some rogue gear. Each rogue gear has various benefits. I don't know too much on what the best ones is. But I'm going to go through and kind of look at how I would do. Stamina is big. Stamina is big. So now we've crafted these basic gears. Where did that go? So we can go ahead and switch this stuff out for our old gear. So we just need shoulders now. So we'll go ahead and go back to the armor, craft, go ahead and go down the rogue tab, look at our shoulders. I think this one's probably your better one. So this is what's called a common gear. There's uncommon and rare as well. Purple is pretty rare to find. I do have one on Big Dog here. This is a purple mace. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make us now a weapon. So each class has various types of weapons. Rogues have daggers and swords. I'm going to be a sword gamer for now. So now that we have common gear, we could head into night technically, or we could head into day. Or we could, to head into crypts, you need uncommon or green gear. But honestly, that is a pretty good introduction to this game, I think, and what you need to do to start. So what you should always prioritize as starting out is leveling up your lodge, leveling up your city traders, and gaining as much resources as you can. I would truthfully recommend playing Goldbrook for a couple of raids to build up copper and birch and leather scraps until you're at a point where you think you can go back in and not be detrimental to losing all this gear, as well as field lilies. I cannot express to you how important these stupid flowers are. These stupid flowers make your game go a whole lot easier.